everyone, Laura and Alvin with Add a Pup Dog and Puppy Training. Trigger stacking. Why sometimes your dog freaks out or flies off the handle or reacts, and sometimes they don't. Trigger stacking is when all of your triggers stack on top of each other. It's the straw that breaks the camel's back. So if someone takes a baseball bat to someone's windshield in traffic, it's not just because they got cut off. It's because they were late waking up and they stubbed their toe and their wife is leaving them and they spilled coffee on their lap and their boss called them screaming at them, and then that stupid Pharrell song came on the radio and then someone cut them off and then on your windshield. It's not just the last thing that happened. It's all the other things that are going on that build up to that moment. We've all had days or weeks or months or years or lives like this. So it's not that not familiar for us. It happens to dogs too. So this could be why your dog might put up with something one day and not another. It's why you shouldn't make your dog put up with things that they really don't like to put up with. Just because they're okay that day, there's gonna be a day where they're not. It could be why, oh, the baby just touched her foot. I don't know why she bit her. It was no big deal. She touches her feet all the time because she got sick of it. She was dealing with it and tolerating it before, but then all these other things happened and put her over the edge. So we're gonna talk about thresholds, behavioral thresholds, how to stay below them, and what it looks like when things start going wrong. So I'm checking my notes here to make sure I don't miss anything. A behaviorally normal dog, behaviorally and neurologically normal dog, will give you several warnings before they resort to physical violence. That's just kind of a biological reality. It puts the organism in danger if they start fighting, so it's way smarter to just try the low-level things. So, some generic signs of stress. Low level might be a lip lick. So we've talked about this. Could be a quick, you might not even see it, or a big wiping their mouth. Out of context, a lip lick. Next up, let's say whale eye. This is showing the whites of their eyes, either looking out of the corner or looking through you, like you're not even there and you just see a little bit of white, or just kind of giving you the mom look and you see a little bit of white from their facial muscles tensing. Next step up, let's say walk away. Dogs use proximity to keep themselves feeling comfortable and to communicate what they want to happen with a interaction. If someone creepy sits down next to you on the subway and starts like gibbering to themselves and they smell really bad, and you just kind of go, you're using proximity to help yourself feel safer. Walk away. Let's say next will be a little Elvis lip, so a snarl, and then a growl, and then a snap with no contact. Dogs can make contact if they want to. They can bite about 6 times in a second, so it's rarely, hardly ever, never a mistake if a dog tried to bite you but didn't, but missed. They were just giving you a warning. And then bite. All right, so there are thresholds for all behaviors. There's thresholds for these scary behaviors we're talking about. There's a threshold for barking and wagging and jumping and rolling over and everything else. There's a threshold for everything. So the behaviors, the triggers we're gonna talk about. This is an example dog. I will go over why I chose these examples and other examples, because without fail, whenever I give this example, they're like, oh, my dog doesn't mind thunderstorms, he's fine. I'm like, it's the idea. So for this example dog, let's say they've got arthritis. See if I can remember how to spell that. That's just kind of this icky thing that, it just doesn't feel good. It's just kind of going on. Thunderstorms. My dog doesn't mind thunderstorms. This example dog doesn't like thunderstorms. Maybe they get up and go hide in the back of the closet. They're walking away, or in the bathtub, or behind the toilet or something. Beards. My husband has a beard. I like them. Many dogs don't. Looks like your head's upside down. This could be sunglasses or big hats or different colored skin or something like that just makes humans look different than what they're used to. And let's say they'll get a little bit, what are you? Is your head upside down? And then, oh, okay. No, you're just a regular human. I think we're okay. Kids. Kids are stressful. Kids are loud and screechy and unpredictable, and they want to touch you, and they run around too fast, and they're always in your face. Kids are stressful for people and for dogs. All of that applied to humans and canines. So if the kids are over, they just get up and leave the room. They don't want to deal with it. So individually, the dog's fine. No one's turning into a Cujo, nothing terrible is happening. They're just dealing with it. But let's say 1 week, there's a whole bunch of thunderstorms, so your dog's stressed out. And then all of your Amish relatives come over, so everyone has beards. And then little Ezekiel goes up to pet the dog in their orthopedic arthritis bed, and that's when the bite happens. All of these stressors, all of these triggers stacked up to put them over the bite threshold. There were things going on along the way. We just weren't listening until they got past that last one. So it could be, well, let me dial back. If we reduce or eliminate the impact of these stressors, then we are not going to reach the threshold. There's different ways to go about it. These stack on top of each other because every time there's a stressful event, there's a peak in adrenaline and cortisol and stress hormones, and that can take sometimes days, maybe even longer depending on the event, to go back down to normal in their body. You peak in this adrenaline and cortisol, and then if nothing else happens, you're coming down, but you're riding this adrenaline high all the time. So let's talk about that in a bit. Okay, so if we want to reduce or eliminate the impact of arthritis, you're gonna go to the vet and you're gonna say, my dog has arthritis, they are in pain, it is contributing to their stress and their triggers are stacking, they need medication to help. Thunderstorms. I'd use environmental aids like this if you can't move to like Northern California. So soothing music, thunder shirts, pheromone plugins, snuggling with them, giving them a little bed in the closet if that helps. Something environmental to help them get through that because you can't really control the weather. Beards. Beards, I would use counter conditioning. I would say beards equal chicken, beards equal chicken, beards equal chicken, if you have to be around beards, until their brain's response and their physiological, neurological response to brains changes from beards freak out to beards happy chicken time. Kids, I would use management for kids and for dogs. If the kids can't follow directions, get out. If the kids can't follow directions, then they're separate from the dog. If the kids can follow directions, then you tell them how to interact with dogs and you actively supervise them while they are interacting with the dog. And you narrate what the dog is doing for all of these things down here so it doesn't escalate into something else. So if we reduce these impacts, or we get rid of it altogether, shave your husband's face, put the kids up for adoption, whatever it is. Even if they're having a really bad week, when this stacks up, all that's gonna happen is a snarl. And then you'll go, woo, dog's stressed out, we need to change something, but no one's getting hurt. Crappy days happen, but we don't want them to be tragic days. So, your dog might not have arthritis or care about thunderstorms. Let's go through some other ones. Arthritis is the kind of problem that you need to talk to your vet about. Arthritis is a medical condition. So, often, the first question I ask people is, did you bring this behavior up with your vet? There are all sorts of medical conditions, just general pain that can contribute to aberrant behavior. But also, if your dog is dealing with anxiety or congenital problems, neurological issues, all the training in the world is maybe make a dent. But if they're, all right, let's put one in here. Anxiety. If this is just all the time, putting them up to 8.5, then anything on top of that just puts them over the edge all the time. They are riding this adrenaline and cortisol stress hormone high all the time, and anything on top of that is just, worse and worse and worse. That's the sort of thing you need to talk to your vet about too. Thunderstorms. Might not be thunderstorms, might be fireworks, might be bags blowing by in the street, might be cars backfiring. For Nina lately, it's sneakers squeaking, I don't know. The sort of things you can't avoid, but the sort of things that you can use environmental aids to help them deal with better when they do happen. Beards. Beards are counter conditioning. Beards are things that you can see and they can see, and sometimes you can predict, and you can get proximity from, and you can use monsters equal chicken, monsters equal chicken, monsters equal chicken to change the way they feel about it. Might be beards, might be hats, might be men, might be big dogs, fluffy dogs, little dogs, might be people who go like this over your head, might be people who stare at you for too long, might be other dogs, not any particular appearance, just any dog that they see, car rides, something where we can identify the trigger and go, let's change the way your brain responds to that. And kids is the management kind of scenario. It might be kids, it might be their pesky puppy that you just adopted, it might be, I don't know, your pesky kitty cat, something that you can separate them and teach them each individual skills so that they can come together as they need to and as they're comfortable to feel safe. Boredom will be another one. If your dog sits around in the house all day doing nothing, that's a stressor. They've got nothing going on in their life. That's a stressor. They're not getting enough exercise. That's a stressor. They've got all this pent up energy in there and anything on top of it is just, boo, just exploding. That's something that can stress them out too. Which is why one way to decrease likelihood of reaching a threshold across the board is exercise and enrichment. We definitely don't want to get to a bite threshold. Usually, if we're dealing with a behavior problem or reactivity or something, my threshold for like a reactive dog would be barking. We want to stay below the barking threshold. If we're dealing with, resource guarding or something like that, then our threshold would be the look or a couple steps before the look, any of these tensing signs. We're gonna go, oh, she's getting tense. We're gonna bring it back down. We don't ever wanna get to that one. Neither does your dog. That's never our goal. We always wanna stay beneath them. So exercise enrichment can dial this back across the board. I have a work to eat video. Check that one out. That's my favorite way to do it. I also have a handout that I'd be happy to email you if you want. I need to make a video of it, but I don't have time. So trigger stacking. Why things go awry when you don't necessarily expect them to. Let me know if you have any questions or requests. Let me know what your dog's triggers are. Nina's got a few, mostly noises. Squeaking sneakers, fireworks, being bored. That's one. She hasn't got enough exercise. But other than that, she's pretty much a happy-go-lucky girl. Questions or requests? Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.